Let's accept it. Delhi is one of the most polluted cities in the world. Yet every winter we see this massive hue and cry over who is responsible for this sudden spike in the pollution levels around Diwali. Is it the firecrackers, or is it the stubble burning happening in the neighboring states, or is it just weather? The political blame game begins. Interestingly, this time around there was a remarkable reduction in the stubble burning incidents happening in the neighboring states. Punjab, especially in the aftermath of the floods, reported a 72% fall in the farm fires this harvesting season. Yet, a toxic haze enveloped the entire national capital. So today we have with us one of the foremost authorities on air pollution in the national capital, Ms. Anumita Roy Chaudhary from Centre for Science and Environment. Now, Anumita has been tracking the air pollution in the national capital for many years. So, Anumita, I'd like to begin by asking you, what really makes Delhi's air so toxic?
It's so clear, and we know this so well from all the studies that have been carried out since 2015 and 18. First, the detailed studies, which have very clearly shown that if you take all the combustion sources, the industry, vehicles, waste burning, all of these together, they are the major contributor to pollution. In fact, the share of dust is lower than the total contribution of the combustion sources. Now, also very important that right now, IITM has a system of estimating contribution of different sources to Delhi's air quality during winter. And that is also bringing out a very clear insight that even though quite a substantial part of pollution that is coming from the immediate surrounding NCR, but if you look at Delhi's own local pollution sources, then vehicles are at the top, almost half of the overall pollution, and followed by peripheral industry, waste burning, construction, and all these other things that you have, but these are the most prominent ones. And then you have the dust sources. Very interesting, therefore, that when your local sources have such an overpowering impact on your pollution levels, then why this blame game that goes on? Right now, because of the whole Diwali controversy that we just had, right now when the pollution levels are increasing and we experience the first smog episode of the season, the contribution of the farm fire and other rogue during winter, their contribution right now is less than 1 to 2%. So, and Diwali is also over, but pollution levels are continuously rising, and we are tracking it since the first week of October till Diwali. We have already seen 1.6 times, close to 2 times increase in the pollution levels. And that's all local sources without farm fire. Okay, that's only 1%, even less than 1%. So what are we talking about? So now we really have to get very real about the solutions, mainly because if you really look at the overall trend in the pollution levels in Delhi, yes, if you take about a decade trend, you do see a downward curve, that we have bent the pollution curve. But look at it from, say, 2018 onwards, the recent past. Yes, 2018 we were in 116. 2021 onwards, we had started to see a little bit of dip from 106 to 91 to it was coming down till 101. Last year, we again saw it going up again. It's 105 now. So clearly it shows that we are not even being able to hold on to the declining trend, that we are about to lose our gains. And that's serious.
Right. So, Anumita, I'd like to really ask you here, because there's this debate over whether Delhi's air quality is getting better or is it getting worse. Now, when we step out, we can really see the discomfort when we breathe. We don't need the monitoring stations to really confirm that. But how do you see Delhi's air quality? It's still far away from what the standards should be.
So that's the real story. The story is that despite the downward curve in Delhi that we have seen over a period of time, where we are today, and I'm talking about not about our daily winter pollution levels, I'm talking about the annual average, what we breathe throughout the year, we are still so high that Delhi requires more than 60% reduction in overall ambient air pollution to be able to meet our own standards, annual standards. So what are we talking about? So this means, just imagine Now here the big story is, it's not about Delhi not doing anything. If you really look at what Delhi has done so far, they are not small measures that you first push the diesel out, you bring CNG, pushing old vehicles out, banning all dirty fuels in the industry, pet coke, furnace oil, coal, all stopped. All coal power plants stopped. Okay, so a lot of big ticket decisions have been taken, which has contributed to the downward trend. But now who is thinking about that what is the scale and the aggressive nature of the action that we require, the stringency we need for the 60% cut? And in that 60% cut, if the vehicles are 50%, if your industry is still the second, and then the waste burning, where is the agenda for an upscaled action? And instead what we see that every winter you only talk about dust control largely, right? Sweeping the roads and sprinkling water, doing artificial rain. When the studies of IIT Kanpur and others, the earlier studies that have shown that actually during winter, the share of dust in the air goes down. It's higher during summer. So are we barking up the wrong? Okay, do dust control to some extent, but what about all the sources of pollution? And where is the report card on your progress?
Well, clearly it is the local sources of pollution which dominate the pollution load in the national capital. Now that whole debate over firecrackers or stubble burning, these are still may cause a spike, but the pollution load of the national capital is so high, and like Anumita is highlighting, that it is time that the Delhi government and the stakeholders take action, especially on the vehicular pollution, which contributes nearly 40 to 50% of the pollution load in the national capital.
Been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the they're doing.